Hi friends, welcome to Aisha's DIY. Today we will design a necklace using Ggc'sTreasureBag, the deep sea jewels. For this project you need 20 gauge wire. I have pulled out in stainless steel. This is artistic craft wire in 20 gauge, and then I have some wire cutters, some round nose pliers, and tweezer nose, or you can use needle nose pliers, anything you want. And also the findings, the three connector findings I'm going to use that, plus the toggle clasp as well. And of course I will use some chain as well from the bag. All these beads are from the bag except if I want to use a seed bead or so, which I haven't thought about it yet, but somehow I was working on this design, I know for sure. And then you need some jump rings, of course, to connect these connectors to that. Also I pulled up the turtle or tortoise, I think, charm from the box. So I will put the chain for now here. I need some jump rings, and now I also need the bent nose pliers to open and close the jump ring, along with my tweezer nose pliers. So first of all I'm just going to connect the mermaid charm that we got from the box. Open that up, add it to the charm, and add it to one end of this three loop finding. So here we go, close the jump ring really nice. And okay, so actually you need to be careful with this side. I want this mermaid to be in the inner loop. This one is an outer loop. Just make sure when you do that, all you need to figure that out. You can just add it and figure it out as how I am doing right now, but once that's set, there we go. Do the same to the other side as well. Prep your jump ring, open it up. So add the mermaid right here. Okay, and now we shall use our 20 gauge wire. Take this bead that we got from the bag, and I'm gonna make a loop, basic loop. Bend the wire about say 1 centimeter or so. Take your round nose pliers and make yourself like a question mark, just like that. Okay, and then move the bead up and bend the wire, cut about say 1/4 of an inch. Then take your round nose pliers, hold it at the end tip, and then roll it over, just like that. Okay, now we have the loop, that we need. Open it up how you would open a jump ring, back and forth motion, and then add this connector to this. And open up the other side. When you do that, just make sure that it is the right side, because the Mermaid connector is not a two-sided one, it's a single-sided, so you need to make sure that it sits right. See this? It doesn't, it sits opposite, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Take it off, add it again in the opposite direction so that it will sit properly. Okay, now we shall make one more exactly like that. Bend it, make a basic loop, again bend it. So hold it at the end, then roll it against. Now open it up, add this charm, now open the other side up. Now see how it goes. See, this thing I need to shift this side. There we go. Now it's sitting perfectly. So let me just move this and show you guys only the inner part of this necklace. So the outer part I want it to be from here to all the way here. It can be beaded chain, or it can be, you can string it into a bead stringing wire and do this. I'm going to try both, and I'm going to utilize this 3x4 mm roundel beads as well, because the color kind of matches with this, And also maybe I will use this because these two colors come through this stripes, so I'm just gonna use both. This is very sharp, it's cutting even my skin, so I need to be a little bit careful. So here we go, we have all of these, and I'm gonna try and do the beading first and see if it is a good fit, or I can do just, you know, two connectors and do this. Hi friends, welcome back. I decided not to do um, the beaded chain, but to do with the bead stringing wire. So I tried these white beads, I didn't like it, so this is the pattern that I came up with. I didn't even include this 3 by 4 millimeter roundel, but I just included this rice beads. This is the pattern I followed. A starfish, 3 of the 11 seed beads that I have from my stash. These are white opaque levanos, and then a fish, and then 2 levanos, and then the rice bead, 2 levanos, and then the starfish. Then I added 3 levano seed beads in between the starfish and the fish, and then I added a turquoise or turtle charm with 2 jump rings. I just added 2 jump rings, and I'm just adding it to the mix, which I really like it. In the middle over here is where I changed the thing a little bit to match our inner circle, I would say. I added this pendant that we got from the box, followed by these 2 beads, and followed by 2 of the seed beads. Here also I added 2 seed beads in between just to keep it consistent, and this is how it looks. So I'll continue this pattern. So from the center the fish goes this side and this side, so that you need to make sure you have that right. And the starfish also, there is 5 legs, right? So the opening is on the top and it ends between these two, so that direction is also something that keep in mind, right? I just added these right beads because it just mimics the color from the stripes bead, so it kind of looks, you know, nice. So there is 2 kinds of fish. One has that yellowy thing and the other one is just simply plain. You can choose whichever you want. I'm just gonna choose the plain, maybe at the end or in the middle. Just have to figure that out. So see this, it has that AB purplish finish to it, whereas that one is different. So final one I'm going to keep it that way because we have 5 of this and 4 of that. I wonder where I kept the, means there must be another more. So the set, and the next set will be with the total beads charm, and then a starfish, It is easy to scoop the beads if this is in this container. I really like that. So here we go. I finished stringing all the beads. Now I need to figure it out whether the distance is right or not. So first of all, I just keep this one properly. Okay, take this and keep this in a U format. It's important you keep it in a U format because that's how it's gonna be, right? So if this comes like this is how it looks. I really like the way this turned out to be. It looks pretty, in my opinion. And also there is one more thing to consider is the starfish coming here. Yeah, it looks good. It doesn't maybe if you want to add some seed beads you can add on that side, but I really don't want to. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take some crimp tubes. You can also use crimp bead alone, bead crimps, anything you have available in your stash would work. I'm taking 2 of those. Take one end and I still have my spool on, so I didn't cut the wire. Go to the last loop. I'm not utilizing the center loop because the strands, both the strands are big and I don't want to crowd it. There we go. Push the crimp tube towards the loop, then go ahead and crimp it shut. You don't have to cut this because the starfish has a big enough hole to fit both the strands. There we go. Okay, now we can push all the push all the beads to the side. When you're dealing with one strand which is not with the beading wire, the other one with the beading wire, it's always a little bit cumbersome to work with, but you can eventually get it right. It is not that hard. See, it always flips. Okay, just make sure that this one stays down. When you push this, make sure it goes on top, otherwise there is no way that we can do this. So now actually this part is long enough for this to come this way. Okay, now I can cut it off. Cut the wire off. One more time, I just want to make sure that the length is sufficient. Yeah, okay, so just going to snip off, leaving about an inch for me to crimp it off. And I add my crimp tube here. It has a rugged edge, was not cut flush. So these teeny tiny things, make sure there is no lag in this and it's in the U form, and go ahead and go through that, then come back. pull the wire. And it is nice and in a U format. Go ahead and crimp it and snip off this excess wire as close to the bead as possible. So I'm done with this centerpiece. It's really come out very well. I like the way it turned out to be. There we go. Don't worry about this, it'll sit perfectly in the neck. Now all we need to do is, you can actually add chain in the background, or you can actually do a beaded part. So I'm thinking I will do a beaded part, since I can combine these two beads and also the white seed beads. So I'll come up with a plan with the pattern, and then I'll show you guys what I came up with. Hi friends, I decided to do chain, but before that I wanted to do some beaded chain, and that's what I'm doing here. So I add a bead. I work with the spool. It's a 20 gauge artistic wire is what I'm using. You can use any 20 gauge you want, but I wouldn't suggest using Benacraft. Benacraft band is pretty very soft. So if you use Benacraft, then go ahead and don't do simple loops to a wrap loop, even if it is a 20 gauge. That's what I would suggest. So cut this and then make yourself a loop. This loop has become big, as you guys can see. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just snip off a little bit here, okay, and then using my round nose pliers, okay, and then straighten that loop up so that okay. So after making beaded loops like this, so I made this much. I'll move all the beads, so it's a little bit confusing for you guys, but now it's clear, I guess. So I also utilized this bead as well, because I thought why not, because white, right? So it gives me some length, so which is a good thing. And now what I'm going to do here is take my pliers, open up this loop and add it to this chain right here. Then take this white frosted elongated bead, open that loop up, add it here, open the next loop up, add this green bead, the rice beads. I'm alternating the rice bead and this elongated bead. So you can follow any pattern you want. This is what I like. So, and then I figured all the beads are here in the box, so I don't have to take it from my own stash. We have enough beads to work with in this treasure bag. That's what I really like about it. Normally, if you do a subscription box, you will end up having half a strand or 3/4 of a strand, not a full strand. That means you will have to source your own materials. Sometimes you will not have the color and so on. So it's a little bit tough to manage, especially if you're starting to do jewelry making, you will not have more supplies, so that will also be an issue. So that's why I try my level best to use materials from the box or the bag that I'm working with. In case if you are starting out and you just have the box to work with, you should be able to, except for wires, bead stringing materials, and tools. Those are the basic items. If you are making jewelry, of course you will have some of those, I'm guessing. I'm just opening up the loops and adding it. When you open and close the loop, always do back and forth motion, never do this way, otherwise you will distort the shape of the loop. So here is what it is. Let me just figure this out. So after this, what we are going to do is we are going to add chain. We have chain in the bag, treasure bag. So I'm just going to measure this roughly and see how far I have. So it's about, say, 7 to 8 inches. That means 7 inch means 14 inch in total. And then if you are expecting a necklace of 18 inch, so you need only 4 inches, so 2 inches on each side, plus the clasp. That will put you in 19 inch maybe. So let me do 2.5 inch. That's what I wanted to do. So 2.5 inch of chain. So this chain, you can actually remove it. You don't have to cut the chain off. Excuse me for the noise. You just open it up like how you would open a jump ring, and then take this off and then add it to the loop of your bead, and with the help of the bent nose pliers and the tweezer nose pliers, close it nice and shut, right like this, and then you're good to go this side. I'm gonna measure this instead of the more or less the same height is what we need. So this is the link. I'm gonna open up just like the jump ring, then hold on to that, add it to this side and close. There we go. At the end, you can either open up the link here or you can open up a jump ring. It's totally up to you. I'm just going to open up the link here because this chain has it's big enough and you don't need a jump ring. If you have a thicker gauge jump ring, go ahead and use it because that will be much more secure. But I have only thinner gauge. That's why I use 2 jump rings in the place of the charm that we put, the turtle charm. 2 jump rings just to have security. But over here you can either put 2 jump rings if it is a thinner jump ring, thinner gauge jump ring, and I believe this one is a 20 gauge jump ring. An 18 gauge jump ring would be very nice. close that. So necklace is done and ready. I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Don't worry about it, it'll sit perfectly around the neck. As you guys can see, if I hold it like this, it sits perfectly. So I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week, and this I call the Mermaid in the Sea necklace. I hope the name is also perfect, right? Let me just show you guys the entire thing. I'll show the necklace fully because I forgot to do that. One of my viewers has asked me, I want a picture of how it looks at the end. So here it is. Oops, sorry.